What's up guys, it's Tina from Hangry by Nature here. Today I'm going to tell you guys exactly how family friendly Vietnam is. We're going to be running through safety, food, getting around, staying connected, attractions for kids, baby amenities, healthcare, pram friendliness, and accessibility to baby goods. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and make sure you hit that notification bell to keep up to date with all our latest travel videos. Alright, well we've got a lot to get through, so let's get through it. Safety. While for the most part Vietnam is very safe, you do have to watch out for pickpockets, especially in big cities like Ho Chi Minh City. When we were there earlier this year, my cousin had his brand new iPhone X stolen from his front pocket. Locals have also warned us about holding phones while walking or talking on the phone while walking down a busy street or not even a busy street, because scooter riders can come and quickly snatch your phone and boot right off. So be mindful of that too. And of course, crossing the road. I have to say, Vietnam is probably one of the worst places to cross the road in Southeast Asia. Cross the road in Vietnam. Okay. Ready. Stop. Now what? But you know, the key is to just go for it. Don't hesitate. If you hesitate, you'll never cross the road. Ever. You'll be standing there until you're 90. And of course, watch your kids when you're walking down the streets or on busy roads at all times. Oh, and when it comes to beeping, when you're getting honked at, it doesn't actually mean you've done anything wrong. It's just a warning that they're coming past, so don't take any offense. Now, one thing parents should not freak out, and I need to warn you about, but don't freak out over, is that local Vietnamese people love babies. They can be very hands-on. They like to, touch your baby and stuff. And although it's not very socially acceptable in Western society, it's very normal over in Vietnam. Food. Nom, 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 nom. Look, the best part of Vietnam is Vietnamese cuisine. But I'm gonna warn you, the chances of you landing on the toilet are very high. Vietnam holds some very, very treasured and dear memories to Andy and I because we got married in Vietnam. But I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, probably about 80% of our wedding party got sick. It's not always the safest to eat out in Vietnam, even at restaurants that seem clean. But where you have to be especially careful as well is the water and the street food. Food handling and food preparation is definitely not up to Western standards. I mean, our stomachs definitely couldn't handle meats that have been out in the heat all day. So where you have to be especially cautious is when eating things like meats and seafoods, especially in foods, delicious Vietnamese foods like pho, and bún bò e, anything sort of noodle based with where they put raw meat in the soup. Make sure the meat is cooked through. The best way to do it is to look up reputable places on websites or apps like TripAdvisor. That's where you'll find reviews on highly rated restaurants and recommended restaurants as well. We fed our kids a lot of Western food while we were over there. There's definitely easy access to a lot of those types of foods, such as pastas, pizzas, lots of Russian food, because for the most part we thought that was probably the safest option and there wasn't any half-cooked meat in there. But even with taking all the precautions, watching out for water, trying not to get our kids to eat as much street food, our 11-month-old still got struck down with diarrhea. Although it wasn't as bad, it's not ideal when you're on holiday, right? I mean, as a parent getting projectile vomited on. But of course, you don't want your kids to miss out on the delicious local cuisine. So if you do want to get them to try Vietnamese local food, which is absolutely delicious by the way, just make sure and tell them to cook all the meats all the way through. Just make sure the food is smoking hot when they're serving it. And of course, never drink the tap water. Make sure you buy bottled water at all times to brush teeth, wash your face, sterilize bottles, and drink, obviously. Getting around in Vietnam. Taxis. Try to only use the companies called Venus Sun and Mylin taxis. These ones tend to be more reliable and they switch on the meters. Most of the time. At least you'd hope so. Most of the time. Still be cautious and observant. If they don't turn on the meter, make sure you tell them to turn on the meter. Always keep an eye out on the meter to make sure it's ticking at a regular rate. Some taxis can be dodgy and have a little button underneath the steering wheel where they can actually make the meter or the meter tick up. Grab is also a very safe option to take in Vietnam. It's more reliable and allows you to just pay a fixed rate from A to B. And it also allows you to check your driver's ratings, which is really great. The Vietnamese allow you to fit a lot of people in one cab. I'm talking like 2 families stuffed into one cab. Don't freak out. It's totally normal. If you're traveling with a large group of friends or 2 families, they're definitely gonna try and squeeze you all into one cab. And some of you are probably gonna be sitting on the floor. Completely normal. Now, one thing you guys do have to look out for though is fake taxis. Oh, they're out there. I mean, I've seen plain white taxis rock up to tourist sites and stick up magnet stickers to the outside of their cars, pretending to be a reputable taxi company. And sometimes they really do look like legitimate taxis, but you can tell something's off with them. So watch out for those too. In Southeast Asia, one of our favorite modes of transport is scooters, but I wouldn't recommend riding a scooter in Vietnam with kids. We witnessed some pretty bad accidents happen on the road, and the roads can tend to have a lot of potholes, and you definitely wouldn't want to ride a scooter in a place like Ho Chi Minh City. So do it if you're daring enough, but it's one place I wouldn't recommend it. I've recommended it everywhere else: Bali, Thailand, Vietnam. I'm a little bit iffy about it. But the maximum speed limit across all of Vietnam is 60 kilometers an hour. So traffic is pretty slow moving. Just make sure you strap your little ones into a carrier, and if you have older kids, just strap on the seatbelt. Hello, Andy. Do you copy?
Yeah, I'm here. Where are you?
What are your coordinates?
Tina, are you there?
Huh? Staying connected in Vietnam. So the best place to grab a SIM card, and I would highly recommend getting a SIM card when you're in Vietnam, just for the purpose of using Google Maps and getting apps like Grab on your phone that you can use right away. The best place to get it is at the airport when you arrive. You'll be faced with a lot of different companies offering different SIM cards as soon as you exit the airport, and there's some really, really good deals. So we got ourselves a 30-day SIM card with unlimited calls and text and unlimited data for $10 US. An absolute steal. Definitely get that as soon as you arrive. Attractions for kids. So whether you're in Phu Quoc, whether you're in Da Nang, or whether you're in Nha Trang, they've all got Vinpearl theme parks. Take your kids to one of those. It's a lot of fun. Some of them a little shabbier than others, but still a really great day out for the family. Vinpearl Land in Nha Trang is a must visit. If you guys are ever in Nha Trang, go check that out. It's amazing. There's also a lot of independent water parks, and there's some beautiful beaches as well. Although the water on that side can get quite choppy, you're just gonna have to make sure to watch your kids at the beach at all times because the waves can get pretty strong. Every major city usually also has a zoo and an aquarium, and most hotels and resorts will have a pool. There's also beautiful temples that you've got to visit, and the kids will love roaming around, diving and snorkeling, white water rafting, and lots of museums. Baby amenities. Depending on the hotel you're staying at, usually cots are provided, but it's best to check beforehand so you can be prepared and bring your own in any case. One thing I do recommend is bringing your own portable booster chair, because high chairs are almost non-existent in Vietnam. So we spend most of our time carrying the baby in the carrier while trying to eat our food over the baby. Wasn't really ideal, no. There are definitely no baby change rooms anywhere we have visited. So make sure you bring your own change mat to change your baby and things like that. Another thing at the airports is that there pretty much aren't any priority lanes for families, so be prepared to wait with the rest of the crowd when boarding a plane, when checking in, everything like that. I need to relieve the pressure, doctor. Hand me the scalpel, please.
Scalpel.
I don't really know what I'm doing.
Healthcare. Now, in most major cities and even on islands like Phu Quoc, there are international hospitals. Those are definitely the places you want to visit if in any case you need to visit the doctor. They are a little dearer for Vietnamese standards, but it's definitely worth it because the staff can speak English and you're provided a high level of care. Make sure you look up where the international doctors and hospitals are before you leave for Vietnam, because communication in Vietnam can be a little bit difficult. Not a lot of the locals speak English, so it might be hard trying to find one when you're there. Now, there are pharmacies pretty much everywhere, and you can get all kinds of good stuff at these pharmacies. And most of the staff at these pharmacies will speak English as well. And if you know the type of medication that you need to get, you pretty much just show them the name, Google Translate it, and they'll know what to get you. Pram friendliness in Vietnam. So like the rest of Southeast Asia, it's not very pram friendly, but you can bring your pram and get around with it. You're just gonna have to weave around parked scooters, people, and jagged sidewalks. Sometimes you have to share the road with cars and scooters and motorbikes. A lot of restaurants are actually double-story or they're located upstairs, which will require you to carry the pram upstairs as well. So be mindful of that. It's a little bit of an exercise, you know? Gonna be real. Bring the carrier to bring the carrier. So for places like a lot of temples and some natural sites and things like that, it'd be best to bring the carrier, as there are a lot of stairs going around. You don't really want to navigate that with a pram.
All right, it's time for a nappy change, buddy. Oh, damn, son! What did you eat?
Accessibility to baby products. One thing to be aware of is that in Vietnam, they pretty much only use pull-up nappies. Nappies are available at supermarkets and convenience stores, but be mindful that convenience stores, the sizing can be very limited. Bigger supermarkets have a larger variety of brands and sizes, so it's probably best to go to those. They have a variety of Japanese branded diapers and also some Western ones like Huggies and Pampers, and they've also got their own Vietnamese version. We kind of stuck to the Japanese ones because we've used them before and they're very reliable and good, and generally tend to be on the cheaper spectrum of things. So you're probably looking at around $10 US for a big packet of imported nappies. Baby food is only available at large supermarkets. You won't really find them at convenience stores. So in that case, it's probably best to stock up on your own baby food if you need to bring it. Otherwise, go to the larger supermarkets. And I would definitely recommend feeding your baby food in Vietnam. But of course, don't overpack diapers and wipes. They do have everything available there, and you'll be able to get your international brands over there as well. And that's it, guys. I hope this video has helped you determine just how family-friendly Vietnam is. Despite some safety concerns and food concerns, I would have absolutely no hesitation in going back to Vietnam with kids. Vietnam has such rich cultural heritage, absolutely delicious food. I would gladly get food poisoning over, maybe. Friendly locals and stunning scenery. You just have to go there and see it for yourselves. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful in planning your trip to Vietnam with kids, please give this video a big fat like and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our latest travel videos, and comment below. I would love to know. I know most of you guys have been to Southeast Asia. I would like to know what your favorite Southeast Asian cuisine is. Is it Thai? Is it Vietnamese? Or is it Indonesian? Or even Malaysian? Let me know in the comments below. I love food. Everyone loves food. I'd like to get to know you guys better. So let me know. Anyways, until then, we'll see you guys on the flip side. Transition out, wipe out.
Hungry, yes, I'm hungry.